Okay, welcome everybody. So we have a short but beautiful piece. And I think we'll see a Yisodi piece, both in terms of the question being dealt with and the Torah principles that are being brought out. So let's jump in. L'kachti etchem li lam, right? The last Lashon Segula. I take you for an am. Kol kedushas avi, dik dinei amruzal komakum ha'am hu lashon ganai. There's a chazal that says when it says am, it's a lashon ganai. I think the most famous of that is lech rei ki sheches amcha. Your am Moshe, which means the Erev Rav. They're the ones who started the whole problem with the Egel, right? Yeah. So here is another example of that, and this is just a mafteach, a key, because this is the type of question that you have the opportunity to ask again and again, right? Because there are probably, you imagine, a lot of places where it says am, etc. But here, this is like the greatest thing. This is the last lesson of Gula. Kakli lechem lila am. I tell you as an am. So that's negative. Kol makam am hu lashon ganai. V'kan m'vasir lehem al kabbalas haTorah. Lama korosam lashon ganai. Okay, that is the Avnei Nezer's question. V'tiritz ki am hu lashon ganai mishum da'am hu milashon gechalim. Now, wow. So this is an incredible depth. And I want to tell you, it's a siyat d'shmaya for me because I'm learning the sugim psachim on Chavav and Chav Zayin and Chav Ches about shvach eitz b'pas, whatever, and it talks there about gechalim. It talks about different types of coals. Gechalim amamot, gechalim lochashot. So here you have it. So the same sukkim that are raw. So it's a nice connection. But anyway, let's get back here. Amu miloshin gechalim amamot. Shepush kfuyot. That's mamish. This is mamish Rashi Psachim, friends. Right? Gechalim amamot is the lashon chazal, as I mentioned. Right? Gechalim is in the brisa. At least in that sugya, amamot is in the question of the Gemara. It's not in the brisa itself. But it's broad. It talks about gechalim lochashot, that are flickering, that are moving. Gechalim omamot, that shibushu kfuyot, that their kavui means to put out. Milashon arazim lo amamuhu. Right? So a gachal omamot means a gachal, a coal can be hot. Anybody who grills. Yeah. You grill? No. Oh, you're in Zocha. But anyway, those of us who are Zocha to do the big mitzvah gedola.
In America, it's a good oven.
Right. Oh, so
barbecue. Barbecue.
That's right. So here, the mitzvah gedol of barbecuing. So you see sometimes the coals are often low, but sometimes they're like lit up and they're very, very hot. They don't stay hot. They usually go down pretty hot. But when it's hot, it's lochesh. Yeah. And if you fan it, then it's lochesh. When it's not like that, it's called omamot, which means it's kavui, but it has heat inside of it. Omamot means like put out. It's put out. Okay? I'm just pointing out, it's not mamish put out, otherwise, sometimes it can be mamish put out and still retaining heat. Sometimes it can be, re-brought back, etc. But okay. The kanami pirushu kain. Wow. Here also means that. Look, the am was am, because there's a nation that's full of vigor, life, awake, chiyus. So am means more toned down. That's why am is beautiful. Am is a negative language because it implies a more depressed state. Am omamot. Okay? Kan nami pirusha kain. Aval besura zu hi afil. So what's the point? So that's the point. Because the besura is, we ask, so why do you use a lashon ganai? Well, if you understand what the lashon ganai is all about, it makes sense. Al besura zu hi shafil kishiu b'ktanot hamochin. Bilti Slavas Eish Das. Even when Klai Yisrael is just an Am, when they're Omamot, Mikol Makom Yunirtzim, they're going to be beloved Hashem. Masem Yusu Shorish Lamata Upri Lamala. And what you do below makes a difference. So there's Klai Yisrael B'Tefartam, there's Klai Yisrael that's awakened, and they're great, of course. But even when Klai Yisrael is lower, even when they're down, you still make a difference, even at that state. So that's a beautiful, beautiful word. L'kati Lechem Lilam. I'm going to take you in your lower state because you are special even then. Now he's going deeper. Okay, so the first point is, and it's such something for us to reflect on and think about, the Jewish people is beloved even when we're not so hatzi-tatzi. Okay? That's not the lashon of the Shem MiShmuel hatzi-tatzi, but, right? It's one thing, you're married. It's one thing you love your wife, your spouse, when everything is good. Your kid, oh yeah, of course I love my kid. He gets 98 on all the tests. Yeah. He brings me covet. Everybody's telling me how great he is. Okay, that's lo chashot, but there's loving omamot. A person who really loves his children, you love them. Kadosh Baruch Hu is sameach b'chalko. The Reb Chaim Elazar asked the Gra, sameach b'chalko. What's the chelik of Hashem that he's sameach in? The Gra said the chelik of Hashem that the Kadosh Baruch Hu is happy in is his Klal Yisrael. Even just like we're supposed to be happy in our chelik, even when it's not so great, Kadosh Baruch Hu is happy with the Jewish people now. That's what it means. That's chelik Hashem Amo. We are His chelik, and He is sameach with us. And the person has to remember that. Wow. We're always striving for more. We always want to get better. We always want to do more. But it's not that we're nowhere. The Klal Yisrael is beloved to Hashem. The neshama, the body, all of us. The more religious, the less religious. Kadosh Baruch Hu's chelik is Klal Yisrael. Chelik Hashem Amo. The nachlaso, right? Banai banai. Bein kachu, bein kach banai. Right? The Yisrael v'bishchat Yisrael. So this is a big lesson. So that's the point. Kavui, even so now we know now that vor, it's with am. That's the idea of am. Venir diso zochel. So now you have to wonder, Yonah, but why? Why was Klal Yisrael zochel of all the nations? Why are we the ones that are so special? No matter what state we're beloved. Venir diso zochel is ikshu nirtzim masem af bilti haaras aseichel v'bnei shikdimu nasev in lenishma. Wow. The reason we get to this level, this is an incredible statement that the Rebbe's making here. Since we were mocked, it's like someone, you do something, like someone does one thing sometimes, and that's enough. Like, you're done for history, and sometimes you miss, you know what I mean? But like, you missed, that was your, this is like, this is what we brought you for. Nasev and Ishma, Shapir Shu, Svarmak Kadosh Lo, Yimtinu al Horas Aseichel, right? What does it mean, Nasev and Ishma? Right? The normal way is Nishma V'naseh. You ask me to do something, okay, let me consider it. What kochos do I have? What resources do I have? And that's what we tell people, right? Forewarned is forearmed. Often we tell people, don't just think, guy just jumps in, I'll start the restaurant. I'm not going to that restaurant. I'm not investing. Hey, what do you know? I'm going to build the greatest restaurant in Yerushalayim. Yeah, what do you know about restaurateurs? Nothing. Saying, what source do you have? Nobody. What, who's going to be your cook? I don't know. What are you going to cook? Asian food or Chinese food? Or French food. I don't know. I'm pushing to get a French restaurant in Yerushalayim. I don't know if they have any but right. So no, I'm not investing in that guy. Well, that's what Klal Yisrael did. Nasev and Ishma, we're going to do it. Afterwards, we'll hear Shleim Tino al Haras. It means they understood something so deep. It was a place deeper than Seichel. Shleim Tino al Haras Seichel Elam Atzma Yunim Shachem Achar Mamar Shem MiShmuel. Believe chachmas without wisdom. So again, mostly to appreciate the chiddush in this, we don't appreciate chidushim. The reason I don't appreciate chidush is because you take everything as simple. The default is not like this. The way to do things and the way we do things, the way we appreciate things are done, is that we have a plan, a tochnit, and we don't just say yes to every idea and you push away a lot of it. Steve Jobs, lahavdil. He was great at pushing away ideas. His people were talking about ideas all the time. And he said, no, iPhone, this one, that one. Wow. Right, unlimited. If you think about it, Apple has unlimited. The first company, I know about now, the first company which beat $1 trillion, I think, was Apple, right? And this is incredible. And Apple became Apple because Steve Jobs pushed everything away because he was thinking, here's my job. And this is not my job, not my job. Pushing everything away. And we understand that. In the normal world, it works like that. Yeah, but in the spiritual world, there's a different realm. There's a world of Nasev and Ishma. That Klal Yisrael understood. This is right. I can't explain it. I don't need explanation. Kadosh Baruch Hu wants me to go. I'm going. Now He'll give me the call. We'll work it out. Right? We'll work it out. So there's two modes in life, and that's the chiddush. You know what I'm saying? That's the chiddush of Nasev and Ishma. Is that it's not the way. If everything's Nasev and Ishma, then there's no chiddush in it. No. Normally it's Nishma v'Naseh. But Klal Yisrael understood Nasev and Ishma. Okay. Kamar Misal under the skin of Shleimusa. Right? We go in the Shleimus. Parashah says, we go, Kadosh Baruch Hu wants us to go, we can go. That's it. All I need is a Kadosh Baruch Hu's tzivui. What's it going to be? What's he going to command me? I don't know. Maksive, like the Goyim say Maksive. The Goyim are the Chachma. You understand? Yeah. Right? Why the Goyim not get the Torah? Because they didn't say Nasev and Ishma. So what did they say? Well, let's think about it. They did it the normal way. So in the natural world, the Goyim were right. And that's why the Goyim did it. It's not learn it a little more sophisticated. It's not the Goyim were stupid, we're smart. It's the opposite. The Goyim were smart, but we're something higher. That's the point. The Goyim said that the Kadosh Baruch Hu wants to accept it. Wait, Bonera, what's can we handle? Can we not? No, we have a big problem. Well, I can't do that. Not for me. Klal Yisrael throws the seichel away, right? Mizeh yuvon lahavin hadavar b'siklam, and from then we'll understand. Of course, you have to understand eventually, but first nasa, then nishma. But first nasa. Now, therefore, this is beautiful, right? So that's a basic explanation of Nasev and Ishma. Wow. So since Klal is an unbelievable word. Klal Yisrael is an am, means we're kavui. We don't always have the greatest seichel, but even when means even when you're not so gishmak and when you're not so gavaldig, you're meaningful to me and you do stuff. Why? Because you have inside yourself to know when to put the seichel aside. So if you know when to put the seichel aside, and when you know when there's a higher system that takes part, so that for everything you do afterwards is meaningful, even when you don't have seichel, even when you're not so chashuv. Incredible. Lefi Amor, Yesh Lefarish Divrei Shas Avodah Zarah, famous Gemara which I like to talk about. Lasid Lavo, maybe Kadosh Baruch Hu Sefer Torah Minicha V'Cheko Omer. Kadosh Baruch Hu takes the Sefer Torah and Kaviyachol, so to speak, puts it in his Chek Omer. Lemi Shasik Ba Yavo V'Yitel Schar. Anybody who learned gets their schar. Miad Miskabtzim Umasolim. Immediately the Umasolim come. Miad Nichnasel Lefanav Malchus Edom Tchila. Right, and then Edom comes. Amar Lama Kadosh Baruch Hu. Maya Sek. So Kadosh Baruch Hu says, Edom, Shalom Aleichem. How are you? He says, Maya Saktim. Yeah. What did you do? It's been a long history. You know, what have you been up to the last 3,000 years, 2,000 years? We made a lot of shvakim. We made a lot of wonderful marketplaces. We made bathing places. We made money, stock markets, etc. World centers. But I want you to know, Hashem, what? Why did Edom says? Why do we do this for Torah? Right? Torah. Wow. I always am touched by this. There's a lot of machalokas and things like that. I think it's always good to know, like, what's the pashto of Chazal? How did Chazal look at Limud Torah? Chazal look at Torah as everything, all the time. Chazal after Chazal, Yeah. She asks b'Torah. Amalei Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shotim Shabbalim, fools. Komash asidim l'tzarch atzmechem asidim. Tikamtim shvakim. Why did you have marketplace? Loshim bezonas for harlots. Marchatzos. The merchatzos were for Klal Yisrael. You did it in order to have nice skin. Kesev Zav Shalihu. It's my money. Shnemar Liya Kesev Eliyazav. Nu Hashem Tzorah. You did the money. I did the money. Klum Yesh Bechem Magid Zos. Klum Yesh Bechem Magid. Now he says something which I often don't when I say over this Gemara. Klum Yesh Bechem Magid. Do you have someone who's teaching you? Zos Shnemar Mia Behem Yagid Zos. You have anybody teaching you Torah? He said, no. Okay, so we'll get back to that. Miyad yatsu pachei nefesh. So they went out like depressed, down, etc. Yatsu romi v'nichnas paras, right? And then paras came in. Okay, good. So don't work with boring. I'm going to get a reward. And then Kadosh Baruch Hu answers to everybody: America, England, Iran, even our great friends in Iran, even our great friends in Gaza, also not, saying, all that we did in Gaza, all the tunnels, lo asinu b'shvil Yisrael, okay? We wanted Klal Yisrael the Osik B'Torah. No. Lebanon, Osik B'Torah. Syria, no. Ottoman Empire, no. Romans, no. V'nir lefarish al pi ma she'amru. Oh, so yesh l'tma. Ari lasid. Listen, one second. What's going on here? And the Brisker Rav asked this and says a similar mahalach. He was before, to be honest, he was early in the Brisker Rav. Right? Yesh l'tma. Harei la'asid hu olam hamis. Yeah. It's a world of truth. What are they? They're joking around here, right? You're talking to Kadosh Baruch Hu, and it's in the time of truth. What are you doing? Vod, aspanim, right? Look at him. Vod, ad mi yavo lahatos alo Kadosh Baruch Hu. Who are they coming to trick? God. She yodeh telum a slave. Hey medabrim. Valkein enim shotim gemurim kol kach, right? Magam la'asid, right? They're so foolish. They're out to lunch. That mode. Vod matshuva hishiv lem Kadosh Baruch Hu. Right? Klum yesh bechem zos magid zos. Right? Right? Why did he need that? What was the point of the klum yesh bechem magid then? Right? Dai b'm omro. It's enough to say kol mashasinu l'tzarch atzmach masitim. Came lo omru klal shalom the Torah shitzarch la'ashivim. They didn't have any answer. Why do you have to? They didn't say they learned. Right? What did they say? We did for. And then Kadosh Baruch Hu answers, you did it for yourself. Yeah. And he answers, did you have anybody teach you Torah? But they never said they had that. So that's Mamish Tamu also, right? Question mark. And it sounds like if they had a teacher, then there would be a teretz. Yeah. So what's that whole thing doing? Look at this. Someone who loses a coin, a Gemara, unbelievable Gemara. It's Gemara Basra. You lose 5 shekels, right? And you don't even know you lost it. And you're not thinking about it. And someone finds it, the honey uses it. Yeah. Poor guy uses it and goes by and buys himself a falafel. You get reward for that. But you didn't have any kavana, right? Now, as you do with the different Rambam, the Rambam says in one of his Akdamas, Kol Hid'at Ha'olam, the whole Asik of the world, Avur Yari Shemaim Echad, V'kam Shanim Yitruchu Livnos, V'lintov, V'kol Kidei Sheba Echad Yamim, even hundreds of years later, Yavar Yari Shemaim Echad, I think the Rambam says, Chassid, Boso Makam Yimtze Bomanoch, right? A person built a Gevaldig castle, and on this Gevaldig castle, he had 25 kumot, and he had air conditioning and all the things, and pools and moats and alligators and spiders and everything, right? And he builds a moat and he builds a wall. Yeah. And he's so happy with his builds a wall, and it was all nothing. And 200 years later, Chassid's going to come, a searcher for the Rosh Hashanah was going to come, and be netted from the shade. Wow. That's what it was for. That's what Rambam says, right? V'imkein. Zed, so now, V'imkein zui tarnas umas, kulam lo, so that's what the Goyim meant. Klum lo asina el b'shvil Yisrael, hainu sov, hay b'shvil shesasi subatorah. Our kavanah wasn't that. Yeah, but at the end of the day, we did, right? Internet, Gavaldi, right? Yeah. Believe me, the people on the internet were not thinking about, weren't thinking Eli Stefanski and Rabbi Gladstein in Torah ending time, right? Yeah. That's not was the Kavanah in Silicon Valley, definitely not. But Lamaisa, look what the Riboy Torah. The guy's 45,000 people, 45,000 people a day listening to him, something like that. Danielle Gladstein has 13,000 hours of Shurim online. Ari Leibitz probably has 5,000 or 6,000 hours of Shurim online. Look at this explosion, right? Yeah. So they didn't do it for that, but they're going to come and say, "Yeah, okay." Now they think it's so important to make faster and faster internet to get more and more shtuyot in the world, right? Yeah. And shtuyot is a nice way of saying it, right? You know, but really it's for Yisrael. So they say, "Look, this thing happened, so we get credit." Perish Rashi Shailam Pnai Shemotim Lestaker B'Shuk. Right, Klal Yisrael has time. Right, like Motzim is on the same. It's Sarchem B'li Tarach Misadim Marchatzos. Right, Rashi explained how Klal Yisrael benefited. Right, since they have a merchatz, but in our ways we totally understand. Look at the greats. Look at we have planes now. People can come learn Eretz Yisrael. We have internet. People can share the Torah. Move on. Right. Ubes emes kachaya sof kol sof. Right. That's true. The Jewish people benefit. Ella shehem lo kibnu lezeh. Right. That's so foolish to think they can be God. That they're not going to say. We had Kavanah, they didn't say. Ela Shatanosim Sov Kol Sov Koma Sha'asu Hu B'Shvil Yisas Yisrael B'Tor K'Divrei Aramazal B'Shvil Ma Shelo Kivnu Lezeh Ein Roi L'Kapeach Scharim Kimo Nafel Sela Micheko Umatzei Ani Misparnisbo Harezi Misborach El. So he says we're not worse than the guy. Givaldi, that's their taina. By the way, the Brisker Rav says. I'll just tell you, that's why he says, he's not saying this. The Rav said, why does it say Shotim Shabolim, not Shakranim? Because they weren't lying. At the end of the day, what they said was true. The Lashon was Shotim Shabolim. Foolish. Now we'll see why they're foolish in a second. But why did it say more? Why did it say they're Shakranim? No, because they weren't lying. It's less love, they're not lying. But they're shtos, so they think they can get rewarded for it. We'll see in a second. Valzei Shima Kadosh Baruch Hu Shotim Shabolim. Ki Shotahu She'eni Yodea. Lahavdil Davar Midavar. What's a Shota? Like today, everything's the same, right? That's one of the biggest. Like my Rebbe always used to say, the Yerushalmi, based on Yerushalmi, im ein das havdalah minayin. We say atachon eladam das, and then we make havdalah. Why? Because without das, you can't make havdalah. La'avchin ben yom ben leila. So that's, if you think about it, that's what it is. A person thinks he has a proof. I hear all the time guys tell me, "Oh, there's a proof to this. Oh, it's different." Well, no, it's not a proof at all. There's no shaychus. It's not a proof. It's not the beginning of a proof. It's not anything. That's what judgment is. That's what good judgment is. That's what das is. Das is the beginning to see the difference. Im ein das havdalah minayin, right? So they think it's the same. A yid gets reward when the shekel falls out. We also get reward when the shekel falls out. That's the shotim. You're foolish. No, you don't understand. You're making a shteltzu that's not a good raya. It's not good. You don't know how to learn. Edom, you don't know what you're talking about. Hishima Kadosh Baruch Hu Shetod Nirol Ki Shoto She'en Yodeh Lahavdil Davar Midavar Shebeinei Kol Shava Ben Kivnu Lezeh Ben Lo Kivnu Lezeh. Right? You thought it's the same. Kavana, not Kavana. What's the difference? So the benefit was there. The ends justified the means, right? No. Hello, Tzarchan. You did it for them. Kum yesh bechem magitzos hainum demidazu lekabel schar al mais apolo kavana kamo novel selam michelko kanal midazu honeges rak b'Yisrael shekibulus a Torah. That's what magid. Magid meant. Magid was a general reference to Klal Yisrael's Asik Torah, Kabbalah Torah. That's a little bit of a drush. Shezehu avtachas lekachli etchem lilaam shebishvil shehem nimshachem achar Torah mitzvos apli seichel lumatam zachu shasitzem apli seichel v'akavana shikabel leim schar avlo habilti magidim etzos. That's a little bit of a chiddush, right? The first, but that part of the drasha, klum yesh bechem magid zos, means do you have the mila of zos haTorah? Do you have the mila of Kabbalah haTorah? Do you have nasa v'nishma? You don't. So it's not shaykh to you. So it's unbelievable what the Rebbe did here. So let's just quick review. As always, right? As always, that's amazing. No, Baruch Hashem, two of us we appreciate it, right? So it's unbelievable. So what's am? Am isn't language. No, am means is not stam negative, not lowly. It's not good. It's not wicked. It's low key, down, no seichel, not the illumination of the seichel, unilluminated. Right, that's the point of am, omimot. So he says, Klai, lakachtichem lilam. Klai is chashiv to me, and they make a difference even when they're not. And why is that true? Because they said nasiv and ishma. They understand there's more to life than seichel, and that's where the mila we have over the goyim. The goyim can do something, but it has to be with kavanah. Without kavanah, it's nothing. Mitzrichas kavanah by the goyim is an absolute. Without, I saw one time, without lishma, the sheet doesn't rishonim. They say without lishma, goyim and maisim is worth nothing.
Wow.
The goy can have a maisim which would worth something, but he has to have kavanah for it. I've seen mafurish. This basic idea. Now I want to finish. So you see a very, very important thing. We have to know that there's two ways we develop ourselves. One is with our seichel, and for sure, the more seichel we put in, it's meaningful. But now, especially as Purim is around the corner, we have to know that Klai Yisrael itself, we and are part of a body which is kodesh. And once all that's been put into us until now makes that even when we do things in a lower way, it's also significant. So a yid is always striving for more, but he has to know that his maisim are significant even without all that extra stuff. That is a Jewish people. That is who we are, and nothing can take it away from us.